look, the Vikings made the top 10. Nope, that's just a mistake. On this YouTube channel, we post a variety of content. Here at Sissy Bro, we want to keep the positivity at max height. So, if you put something nice down in the comments below, we will heart it and drop a like on it. Some of the content that we post on this YouTube channel is the NFL, the NBA, and some baseball. We also post Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney videos, and we have some other cool videos. I'll go check those out. Enough of me rambling, let's hop into this video. Today we're going to be doing the top 10 NFL teams. If you guys can, hit the like and subscribe button to become a legend. If you guys follow this channel, you know that we've not been posting a lot these last couple weeks. My teachers have been giving me a whole lot of work, so apologies on that. But coming in at the number 10 spot, it is the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams came off a pretty impressive win against the Chicago Bears. Their defense was dominant, even more than the Bears. Their defense did not let up a single touchdown. Their offense let up more points than the Rams. So that's a pretty cool stat. I think this Rams team is for real. They've been a little up and down. One week they're really good, and then 1 week they're really bad. Coming at the number 9 spot, it is the Arizona Cardinals. They're in the number 10 spot. The Arizona Cardinals beat the undefeated, or previously undefeated, Seattle Seahawks in a Sunday night thriller where the rookie Isaiah Simmons came up with a game-sealing or game-changing overtime interception. Their defense is a little worrisome, but they do have some bright stars. Patrick Peterson, Budda Baker, Isaiah Simmons can be really good, and a bunch of other good players. But I think Kyler Murray is kind of like Russell Wilson, and I think he's in the MVP conversation. He's been playing very well. But the reason why they're a little lower is because they went through a rough couple of weeks where they lost 2 in a row. But they've beaten some really good opponents. They've beaten the 49ers and the Seahawks, 2 big wins. And then they beat the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't know what's up with the Cowboys this year. They're playing like hot garbage. But I'm impressed with the Cardinals so far. I just think I want to see more consistency. But I think this big win against the Seahawks is going to be huge for that division. Coming in at the number 8 spot, it is the Buffalo Bills, which the Bills looked terrible against the New York Jets. I did not expect that game to be close at all. That should have been a blowout, but the Bills played like trash for the first half. But then their defense locked the Jets' offense they only got 4 yards total in the second half. But that's not very convincing when you beat the worst team in the league by 8 points. So if the Jets would have scored 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion, it would have been a tied game. That's way too close. The Bills' offense looked terrible. Not an inspiring win, but they do have some good quality wins. I just think they've had a bad couple weeks facing good opponents. But I didn't drop them too low. So Bills Mafia, don't get mad. But I think they're still a good team. Then it is the Tennessee Titans, which they narrowly lost to the Steelers. That game was not close through 3.5 quarters or 3 quarters. That game was pretty ugly. The Steelers dominated that whole game. I just think if come playoff time, Big Ben won't make those mistakes, and this game could be a lot worse. Big Ben put the Titans in a good spot to come back, throwing 3 interceptions. So a sloppy game by the Steelers, but Steven Gostkowski missed a game-tying field goal. But I do like the fight that they showed to almost come back. Just that loss did show that they were a little worrisome. I think the Steelers were the better team, and it was overall a very sloppy game. I think the Tennessee Titans will bounce back, but still a pretty sloppy game. Coming in at the number 6 spot, it is the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks losing narrowly to the Arizona Cardinals, which they easily could have lost this game If DK Metcalf is not one of the fastest players in the NFL and tackled Buda Baker, this game couldn't have even went overtime. You could argue the same with the Seahawks, but their defense is so bad, and if Russell Wilson makes any mistakes, they're going to lose, so he has to be perfect, and that is not very easy. So I think the Seahawks definitely have a lot of flaws. Their defense is atrocious, and if Russell Wilson makes one little mistake, that team will lose. So I dropped them for the loss, and I think they're way too dependent on Russell Wilson. Still a good team, but they definitely have a lot of holes. Next, it is the Baltimore Ravens. I know the Baltimore Ravens are a little bit low, but let me explain. They've looked pretty bad in the last couple weeks. They got spanked by the Chiefs. Then they've faced a couple easy teams, which they should easily win. And then they go against the Eagles last week, and they almost lost. They should have easily annihilated the Eagles, and they did not. So that is very worrisome. When you're struggling against a really bad team that is way under, or is under 500, that is very worrisome. The Ravens have looked sluggish, they've looked okay, and their record says they're really good, but I don't know if they can beat the Steelers or the Chiefs or Titans or the Bills. I don't know. They're definitely not as dominant as they were last year. And I think this week against the Steelers, we're going to learn a lot about the Ravens. Coming in at the number 4 spot, it is the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. Green Bay Packers came off a demolishing win against the Houston Texans, which they manhandled that Texans defense, and they shut down Deshaun Watson, and the Packers got right back to schedule, and every single good team has an off game. Last year, the Baltimore Ravens got demolished by the Cleveland Browns. This year, the Chiefs lost to the Raiders. Every team has a fluke game, and I think Tampa Bay was a fluke game. Packers will be fine, and they definitely showed that they are one of the best teams in the NFC. I love what the Green Bay Packers are doing. Their offense is explosive. And I think there's many rumors that the Packers will trade for somebody like Will Fuller, Zach Ertz, or somebody like Golden Tate. One of those guys, if the Packers get any of those guys, that offense is going to go to the next level. I'd definitely be scared of the Packers. The Packers are doing really good things. Do not count out the Pack. Go Pack, go. Coming in at the number 3 spot, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are for real. I thought they would be really good at the end of the season, but they are lighting it up, demolishing the Oakland Raiders. And the week before that, we don't talk about it, they beat the Green Bay Packers. So they've definitely gotten better each week. First week was pretty bad, then the next couple weeks are okay, then they faced Detroit, they were bad, and now they've looked really good. Tom Brady is in the MVP race. Their defense is really good. Their secondary, one of the most underrated in the league. Their linebacker core is one of the best in all of the NFL. And their front seven can get to the quarterback without even blitzing. And they just added Antonio Brown, which that offense is going to be scary for opposing defenses. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are for real, and I like what they're doing. I think they're definitely going to be really good for a really long time throughout this season. Coming in at the number 2 spot, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last week, they played really poorly. They still came out with a W, but still they let Tennessee hang out in that game for too long. If you saw Ben Roethlisberger's reaction to the Steven Gostkowski missed field goal, that sums up this game. He was just in shock. He played pretty poorly, but the way that they won, even when Big Ben played bad, shows that they can beat you in many different ways. I think their running backs are pretty good. I like Chase Claypool, even though he didn't do so well last game. I think the offense, Big Ben can be a little limited, but I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank. Oh my gosh, I wish the Packers drafted Chase Claypool. But the Steelers are definitely a really good team. I think they're gonna drop a lot, or they're gonna move up. if they beat the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be a huge game. We're going to learn who's the top dog in the AFC North. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are really good, so do not count out the Steelers. But that's why I have them at number 2. Really good defense, pretty good offense. I like the Steelers a lot. Coming in at the number 1 spot, who else would it be? The Kansas City Chiefs, best player in the NFL. Right now, he's had a pretty bit of a down year to Patrick Mahomes' standards, but he's still been playing great. I kind of like the Kansas City overall team. You saw against the Denver Broncos, Patrick Mahomes probably had one of his worst games as a pro, and they still manhandled the Broncos. Their defense scored, their special teams scored, and their offense obviously scored. But they manhandled the Broncos. Nobody's going to slow them down. And I think the Raiders game was a fluke. They got outmatched. That's what happens to all good teams. That you lose one. But I think the Chiefs, their defense is coming along pretty nicely. Shutting down Drew Lock, making his day miserable. And their defense has looked pretty good against some teams like the Patriots, and they're definitely an underrated unit. So I like the Kansas City Chiefs a lot. They're my number 1 team. Good offense, good defense, good, very well coached. So I like the Chiefs at the number 1 spot. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys don't mind, hit the like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. I know these rough times right now, but stay happy, stay positive. Most importantly, stay strong. Hopefully we can get through this together. This has been Bro. I will catch you guys next video. Peace out.